Season 12, Episode 4.
Wow, what a view!
The pitcher, steroid Santa Claus, kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back. And the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
Simpsons movie.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but glass ceiling.
Huh. I think we went too high.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Hundred years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth.
We're living on the flat Earth with the dome, the firmament. As we start to look around us, we start to wake up, our eyes open, maybe that third eye opens, we start to understand, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. Maybe instead of being a worthless blob of goo that came from nothing and then developing into apes that were oohing and ahhing and then eating bananas like a bunch of idiots, maybe instead of that, we actually are the center of the universe. Maybe we are special. In fact, maybe there is unbelievable evidence of creation. But the government has decided to hide that from you. Why? Why is there so much misinformation? Why is there a giant disinformation campaign going on right now when it comes to things like flat Earth? Are my eyes lying to me? Or can I trust what I'm actually seeing? But Christopher, the Earth is a globe. I was told that when I was 1 year old. They said, look, this is a globe. Isn't it interesting? It's one of the first things that you're actually taught. The Earth isn't flat, it's a globe. Even though for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years, they thought that the Earth was flat. Oh, but Christopher, we have all these images of outer space that show that the Earth is a sphere. Really? Where do the images come from? NASA. Oh, you mean the same NASA that is our government, our secretive breakaway government that hasn't been back to the moon since the 1960s. That NASA? Have you ever seen it with your own eyes? How come none of the electronics account for curvature of the Earth when you're flying a plane? None of the engineering of bridges and train tracks, buildings, all kinds of infrastructure that goes for miles and hundreds and maybe thousands of miles, none of it accounts for, in its actual engineering blueprints, for the curvature of the Earth. I mean, if I was building a giant bridge of hundreds of miles, wouldn't I have to account for the curve?
No one has ever gone to the moon, turned back around, and snapped a photo of Earth. If you believe that they did, in 2023, it's only because you've been indoctrinated into a faith-based belief system. Because every shred of evidence points to the moon landings being faked. and every picture of Earth has been proven to be fake.
The blue marble in all her glory, the most widely used image of the Earth. This image has been used over and over and over again for decades. In my opinion, it's one of the most realistic looking images of the Earth from space. Now, NASA claims they don't have very many authentic photos from space, but they claim this one is authentic. They say the photograph was taken by astronauts on December 7th, 1972 at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is one of the most widely distributed photographic images in existence. The image is one of the few to show an almost fully illuminated Earth disk. Earth disk? That's an interesting choice of words. Okay. And the astronauts had the sun behind them when they took the image. To the astronauts, the slightly gibbous Earth had the appearance and size of a glass marble, hence the name. Well, since they gave us the exact date and exact time they supposedly took this picture in space, I decided to go to timeanddate.com and then use the day and night world map feature. Now, this website is really cool. It'll actually show you which countries and continents are in daylight and which countries and continents are at nighttime at any given time that you type in. So I typed in that exact date and that exact time, December 7th, 5:40 in the morning, and this will show you which areas are supposed to be in night and which areas are supposed to be in day. It's pretty easy to read. Now, when we look at the blue marble, we can see that Africa is lit up. We can see the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and Yemen, is lit up. We can see Madagascar. We can see a little of Antarctica. But other than that, we don't see a whole lot of land masses lit up. So that would mean all the other land masses would have to be on the other side of the Earth in darkness. However, when we go to timeanddate.com and we type in December 7th, 1972, 5:40 a.m. in the morning, Africa is indeed lit up as shown on the blue marble. However, South America should also be in daylight. Europe should also be in daylight. An entire chunk of Russia should be in daylight, and the western end of Australia should also be in daylight, yet none of these places are featured on the blue marble. So therefore on the blue marble they would be on the other side in darkness. As the astronauts said, they took the picture with the sun behind them. So this is a major flaw, a major glaring hole in the blue marble. And literally anyone within a few minutes can take the time and convert Eastern Standard Time to other world times and find out all these places should be in daylight, such as Rio de Janeiro, 6:39 a.m. should be in daylight. Helsinki, Finland, 12:39 should be in daylight. Moscow, Russia, 1:39 should be in daylight. Perth, Australia, 5:39 p.m. should still be daylight. I think this more than proves, folks, that this photo is not a correct representation of Earth. It is just as fake as all of the other admittedly faked Photoshop composites. However, this one NASA claims is a real authentic photo of Earth. Only problem is, all your other continents that should be in daylight are on the other side of your marble. I'd like to see the other side of the marble with all the other continents in darkness. Can you imagine looking at the other side of the marble where all the other continents are all crammed together? Yeah, that wouldn't look stupid at all. So there it was, folks. It was right in front of our face the whole time. They show us Africa, but then they don't show us hardly anywhere else. And there's all these other places that should have been in full daylight at that exact time when this supposed photo was taken, but they aren't, which proves it is not an authentic photo. 100% debunked. The NASA blue marble is done. Anytime you ever see anyone post a picture of NASA blue marble, I would really appreciate it if you shared this video.
If you're watching this video right now, I want you to take a moment and be real with yourself. And if you'll be real with yourself and totally transparent, you'll agree with me on a couple of things. One of them being, you've never, ever, ever seen where you live. You've never been up high enough to look down and verify that you live on a spinning ball in outer space. You've never seen curvature. You've never seen an actual image of a real satellite orbiting our, quote, planet to verify that they actually exist. You've never seen a planet. Most people go their entire lives never looking through a telescope to verify that what they're being shown by space agencies and network television is indeed what's up there. You have no idea how many astronauts there are. And this isn't to bash anybody. It's just that the average person doesn't really care about this kind of stuff. But let me inform you, there are 48 astronauts. Out of 7 billion people, there are 48 astronauts. And here we are, hurtling through space for 13 billion years. That should give you an idea as to how vast space is, okay? 13 billion years we've been traveling through it. Trillions of stars and planets and galaxies. And we got 48 astronauts to cover it all. We should have 7 billion astronauts and 48 non-astronauts. But we don't. We should have trade schools all over the world training people to be astronauts. The same way we have trade schools training people to be auto mechanics. I'll be the first to tell you, something fishy is going on. I'm sure we can all agree on that. But I'm going to show you a video clip now. And at the end of this video clip, I want you to ask yourself, if you really live on a round ball spinning through outer space, what reason would they have to fake any of it? And please, let's be respectful in the comments and try to figure this out together. No need to call each other names or disrespect someone because they have a different belief system than you. Let's just find out together who's lying to us and why.
I received an email the other day from a flat earth investigator asking a bunch of typical questions about the flat earth. In his email, the investigator included a link to one of the many YouTube-promoted flat earth debunking videos out there. Apparently, the investigator's brother used it as proof of the curvature. The lies make me literally sick, but I need you to watch this short clip from the video. Here we go.
A few years back, the Discovery Channel had a program where they used lasers and telescopes to show that the surface of a large lake was curved due to the curvature of the Earth.
Let me know when you can see us on spots of the horizon. All right, Brian, how many feet are we above the lake?
24 feet. The Flat Earth proponents responded to this program with a series of videos on YouTube.
I'm going to go with CGI on that whole helicopter thing because people would say, oh, look, well, what do you mean it's CGI? You saw the helicopter? Yeah, I also seen giant robots fighting in downtown Chicago. That doesn't make it real.
All of which supposedly show errors made by the people behind the Discovery Channel program. What drives this sort of stubborn refusal to deal with reality? Part of the problem is that even the simplest demonstrations, like Wallace's or the Discovery Channels, require careful preparation and specialized equipment. Not everybody has access to a helicopter and a telescope to do these sorts of tests. That's often a complaint that the Flat Earth people make. They need to personally experience the evidence, rather than trusting the measurements of other people.
Yeah, like, we need a helicopter to measure the supposed curvature. But I do think it's awesome that D. Marble got it absolutely right. But we'll get back to that. It's also funny that that's the same D. Marble who proved with a laser that there was absolutely no curvature at a distance of 10 miles, much further than the Discovery Channel's bogus helicopter claim. But what makes the PBS video, and to be clear, it wasn't the Discovery Channel, but PBS's series called Genius, but what makes the PBS video so rotten is that this helicopter event was entirely fabricated and it's provable. I made a video on it a while back. Remember, PBS claimed that the helicopter descended behind the curvature and then came up from behind the curvature of the Earth back into view of the telescope. But as you will see, when the helicopter descends, There's a group of birds with a peculiar flight pattern. And then when the helicopter subsequently ascends, the same birds appear and in the same exact flight pattern. Not only that, the waves match as well. Only the image of the helicopter changes, meaning that the helicopter video was added.
As it lands,
I got him. I got him.
As it lands,
without question, PBS lied and faked the curvature. And this isn't some simple mistake. This was intentional, as it took serious effort to add a fake image of a helicopter supposedly hiding behind the curvature of the Earth. Why would PBS lie about the curvature? So, to the individual who emailed me that link, send your brother the proof that PBS lied to him and is still used by globe propagandists as proof of the curvature. But here's another big lie about the curvature, this time by National Geographic. Here's a clip from an old video I made on the subject.
But sure enough, as the boat reaches the horizon, the stripes begin to disappear one by one.
It's pretty amazing. You can actually see it pretty clearly with this camera here. And you see that the red stripe that was at the bottom has completely disappeared, and it's now getting closer to sort of the middle green stripe, that is.
So we've lost about 1.5 stripes.
Right. So this can only happen, why?
Because of the curvature of the Earth.
Why is this claim 100% false? Because if you'll notice, the horizon line is behind the boat. Therefore, no curvature can be obstructing the boat. Now, if you begin to look at everything critically like this, people are going to start calling you crazy like they call me crazy. But you know what? I like crazy. I prefer crazy over sheep because sheeps get led to the slaughter. I don't want to go there. What about you?
Explain why we're not getting to see these images live. I mean, I believe the Apollo 11 landing was broadcast live. Why now don't we have the technology to see all of this live?
Space is tough, especially whenever you're trying to show video from space.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
If you're looking for a launch site anywhere in the world, the ideal location is an island in the middle of the ocean.
You have to be close in order to see it. If you are not in the vicinity, you won't see it.
The actual pad is in the distance, well beyond those trees, so we'll get to see a little spark travel up through this fog.
Remote location, which, it's obviously important that it has to be here.
Wonderful spot because we have very little air and marine traffic, so.
Keep in mind that nobody is actually aboard the drone ship, and it's 200 miles away.
In the middle of the Atlantic.
It is in the middle of the ocean.
Cannot go near the rocket site. No one can go near it.
So we have a cool animation to show you what's going on.
We're going to be showing you a graphic.
Be sure to follow the animation.
The animation is informed by real-time data.
So the graphic on the right, the simulation you've been seeing, the telemetry simulation, it looks like it's moving pretty slow. It makes for a pretty slow-moving simulation experience, but it is actually going very fast right now.
Still be some raindrops on the screen. That's not surprising. We have rockets. We don't have windscreen wipers, but we'll do the best we can.
And we're being as transparent as we can here.
Looks like we might have a little bit of problem with the video, but we are waiting to hear exactly what's happening.
Just a reminder, this is 200 miles away. There's no Wi-Fi, unfortunately.
We've been expecting more views, not only of the mission, but also from the launch pad.
This is a phenomenon we will expect to continue throughout the rest of the mission.
If we lose video, everything is likely still operating nominally. We just have the limit of our signal. So hope we can hold signal here.
At this point, we lost video feed of our drone ship.
Dragon is just about at the limit of the Newfoundland ground station. We're probably going to lose video shortly.
Issues with file transfers.
We lost satellite signal to the connection in the drone ship, but this is pretty normal during rough seas. The satellite link, it needs precise pointing.
There will still be some raindrops on the screen. That's not surprising. Unfortunately, there is not much we can do at this point.
There's a possibility we might lose the video signal for several seconds from time to time. Our team will be trying to bring the video signal back as quickly as they can.
We did have a number of communications glitches.
So it is pretty tough to get a good connection, but hopefully we'll get some good data off of it.
Again, I would just ask for your patience and let us work through that process, and we will absolutely share what we can as soon as it's available.
And we've just lost signal again, we're being told, unfortunately.
We're currently in a satellite handover for the International Space Station. This happens periodically.
Behind me you can see the deep dark velvet obscured somewhat by some beautiful smoke.
To the magic of television.
It does look like it's foggy there. It may make it a little bit difficult for us to see today's mission.
We had either forward or return link problems.
I don't think we have reliable video for it right now, so I'm not sure if we're going to see it exactly perfectly.
And it looks like we have
Exactly what we saw is exactly what you saw, and now we are done.
I love that, we've got a media team that is as excited about what we're doing as y'all are.
Tom Costello with NBC.
Kristen Fisher with CNN, The Atlantic,
Reuters, the AP, Bloomberg.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
Cal's live shot, if you look closely at your screen, once we punch him up, we can still see the rocket somewhere behind you there. Cal Perry clearly not ready for us to come up to him on the air right now.
Space is tough, especially whenever you're trying to show video from space.
Uh-oh. Hope we can hold signal here.